Rabbit and lady. This is episode 6 though. It's shorter, by the way. Oh, flashback. We get to see Mary's past, I guess. Damn, that is balding crazy. He got an arm. He was able to get an arm of a demon. Mommy's crying because we're broke as fuck. We can't pay the bills. Damn! Bitch, this chicken is cold! Okay, so a human child ended up wandering in hell. Pretty much the reason why the rabbit is doing this is because he wants to make a portal to help the Makaians. Now, how he turns into a rabbit, I don't know. Okay, so these ones are the more evil demons. Oh yeah, the kid died because apparently the air there is like really bad for them. Okay, I'm at least piecing together the story now, and you know, getting a glimpse at least in their backstories. Dad's trying to stab mom with some kind of toxin. Oh no, he stabs himself. This is more vampiric than demon. So I'm looking at this. Rabbit is pissed, right? His friend died. But instead of getting pissed at like the demons, he gets pissed at Sparta because now they got locked away. You'd expect Mary, after all those traumatic experiences, should be a little bit more, you know, open-minded, I guess. I mean, she is open-minded, like that's for sure, right? But her swearing is getting no, I'm joking. Yeah, but damn, her swearing is really crazy. Okay, so this is where Rabbit finally made the machine and is now transporting all the Makais. I'm not gonna be like emotional over here though. I'll talk about it once it's finished. Yeah, but these are different demons, right? They're not exactly Makais. That's the difference. Like, that's what I don't get. Because clearly there's a huge distinction between a Makai and a demon. And I guess I don't know, I guess there would always be groups wherein there would be like the ones that have the least capability to fight back, and then what ends up happening is now it's more like a, no disrespect, more like a pity fest at this point. No, you know what, I'm gonna say it as is. It is a fucking pity fest. But I guess that's just kind of like how the world works. Okay, you know what? I'm not patient enough. I'm not fucking patient enough. So this is my fucking plan, okay? So what I'll say is, wipe out every single fucking human being, okay? Relax, okay? We wipe out every single human being. Oh, but wait. There's a clear misunderstanding, right? We have to be patient. Right? We have to take our time because it'll always be time. We'll always need time, right? We have to get to know each other. We need to try to understand each other, right? It's always the same fucking story, right? Guess what? In every story, right, that has something to deal with a much more weaker party, right, that involves other parties that are strong, and a party that you also end up like, you know, that you can like become associated with. So here's the thing, right? I'm now sitting here, and it's like I feel like I've seen this story a million times over and over again. And the thing I hate the most about this as well is that I've seen the same shit fucking happen in real life, right? Okay, we get it now. We get it now. So, oh shit, like yeah, you're finally getting it. So like the story is like, oh, it's becoming relatable to our world, and it's like, okay, well that's amazing, right? Now when you actually go out there in the world, and maybe before you assume that someone is like a bad guy or this and that, whatever you assume them to be as is, you'll now think another way, because maybe they are, right? Maybe they are a good, they're probably the same people as us, right? But the same fucking shit I see every fucking time, right, is that no matter how fucking hard you try, right, it won't take you fucking a year, it won't take you fucking 10 years, it won't take you 1,000 years, it won't take you a fucking million years, bro. It's the same fucking shit over and over again. Okay, so it's kind of like that now, right? So what are you trying to tell me at this point in time? There's only fucking one answer I've always seen, right? And it's either you try to be the better person, you try to be the understanding person, right? You try to be the more calm, you try to be the more collected person, right? You try to be the more smarter person, you try to be the more open person, right? No matter how many casualties, no matter how many deaths, no matter how many years, right? You go and try and understand them over and over again. You always try to do diplomacy, you'll always try to do good things, right? Because if you go to the extreme route, there will also be people, more and more people to die, right? With here, you'll probably lose 100 people, but if you go down the extreme route, you'll probably have more casualties. You'll probably have like around 10,000, 20,000, 30 millions of people dying, right? Okay, so what ends up happening is, okay, we'll try to understand them, we'll try to learn, right? Okay, it will always work. It doesn't matter 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 50 years, a fucking millennium, right? So now what I've always seen in these fucking shows, in these stories, and maybe even in fucking real life, it always seems like everyone is on a balance, right? Everyone is like, we push a little bit, you go push a little bit, but we won't go all out, right? Let's just fucking go all out, right? Let's just go extreme. I don't fucking get it, right? At this point, if we're gonna send out fucking, if we're gonna wipe out 80% of the fucking world, why not just go 100, right? If we're gonna kill the demons, why not just kill all of them at once? If we're gonna fucking wipe out all the humans, why not just all of them at once, okay? Let's get back into this, okay? My bad. I was just getting my emotions. Again, if you're wondering, like, is this serious or whatnot? Again, this is just a show. This is just me being passionate about it, okay? If you're starting to think like, whoa, relax there, Shion, you might be talking a little bit real. Well, I'm not talking real, okay? Relax, guys. This is just passion. I'm talking in the context of Devil May Cry, okay? I'm talking in the context of Devil May Cry. And I'm not going off, because it's like, real world. I just took examples from the real world, but I'm not necessarily reflecting it in the real world. I'm reflecting it in the world of Devil May Cry. Let's get back into this. Aaron wanna be looking ass motherfucker. Go do 100%, gang. Fucking hell, man.
The spirit
Okay, sorry if I went on a little bit of a tangent during that part, right? Of course, I get emotional. I am only human. When a show does that in particular, I don't really know how to handle things like that. I've been exposed to a lot of extreme media, so I I don't know why I always have a weird kind of reaction to it. I feel like whenever people, I feel like when people see this scene, right, they feel sadness, and I feel like yes, it is sad, and I do like I see like it's absolutely valid, right? I don't know why I feel weird when scenes like this happen. It's not like I want to do a pity fest. I don't want to call sympathy, right? I don't. I've never liked that word ever since I fucking found out what the meaning of sympathy is, right? When I was young, I was like, I hated it. I hated the word sympathy, and I always hated when shows pulled off shit that made you want to give out sympathy, right? Because it always just ends up being you and your emotions, and you don't do shit about it, right? There's a different case with empathy though, right? Because if you do something out of empathy, then it's good. To me, it was always like, okay, if it was empathy, it was good. If it was sympathy, it was like, it was just like a pity fest. And again, I can't help but just tell myself that at the end of the day, like, I'm looking at this and how like the Makai are, right, as a whole, it looks to me like a fucking sympathy fest. Like, I'm sorry, like, that is just how I feel. And I want to change that, of course. Like, you have to understand, like, I want to change that because at the end of the day, bro, it's always, like, some of the things that you see here, they're like, a bit of them are like, yeah, you look at it and it's like that shit could be applied in the real world, but I'm not suggesting anything that should be done in the real world. I'm saying something in DMC, right? I always have to put that disclaimer, right? Yo, isn't that kind of funny? I have a notebook over here. I bought this back when I was like, um, what do you call this? If people know what Kinokuniya is, I think I bought it there, or maybe it was like Daiso or something. There's a rabbit, really cool. There's a rabbit. No, I've seen a lot of stories like this. The more prominent one that I've known is AOT. The reason why I call it a sympathy fest is because we start off in the perspective of humans. Um, the only reason I've seen the same story as well in The Last of Us 2. The difference is that I hate the feeling that I get, right? And what is that feeling? I feel sympathy. And I fucking hate sympathy so much. I fucking hate it the most. But I go look at the massacre that, of course, the Darkcom squad did, right? I look at it with sympathy, and I'll always hate that feeling when I get it. I hate sympathy. So I never did like the idea of sympathy. It was always like empathy. But that was the whole feeling I got, right? And it was like, now I go look at this whole, I go look at the bigger picture. Okay, I look at the bunny, right? I look at him. So now he's like, okay, um you're now doing this for the Makai, right? Um but clearly you have a very obvious hatred towards Sparta because he went on a crazy ass rant about him a few episodes ago, right? Um though I haven't seen him get angry as much towards the demons. Of course he's angry with humans, right? But I feel like I see some similarities with him. And I'm gonna use him as an example as well, right? I'm sorry if it seems odd. I'm sorry if it seems cringe, and I'm sorry if it seems weird. But I'll always like look at it with similarities between him and Eren, right? Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, if you've seen the show, right? Um, the reason why I was able to be a lot more, I looked at Eren and I was like a lot more justified with his whole personality, with his whole character, as opposed to the rabbit, right? It was because he looked at his enemies not with fucking right. By the time we were at season 3 in that anime, he looked at those enemies as if killing them, right, would solve anything. He was looking at them like, would killing even solve anything? Would ending all of our enemies across those ocean solve anything, right? With Rabbit, it was more like okay, now he's angry with everyone. Now he's looking at it with like a me versus world kind of scenario. You know what I mean? Um Eren was just doing it off of his own accord because he wasn't doing it now because of like, oh yeah, you know, it was revenge because of his mom. Now he's doing it because of his for his people. And it was like now you see some kind of progression. Revenge, then he started drifting more and more towards his people. But guess what? He knows the fucking implications, what that meant. He knew the fucking burden that he would have to carry if he decided to just wipe out all of the people outside of the walls. Right? With Rabbit, with the bunny rabbit, I don't see it as much. Because the way I'm seeing it, he's like, the Makai are the good people. They're the good people because they're the ones being oppressed, right? And because they're the ones being oppressed, it's clearly me against the world kind of scenario, right? That's where the headspace Rabbit is in right now. So I go look at his thinking, right? I go look a little bit in his thinking, and you know, this is just all like my assumptions as well, so some of them could be wrong. But you know, I just really want to discuss about this episode in particular because now we get to actually see the reasoning behind it, right? I go look at his decisions, right? His way of thinking in particular. From what I'm assuming, he wants to pit the two worlds together, right? He's pissed at Sparta because clearly Sparta is a dumbass fucker because Sparta decided, hey, you know what? The Makais don't really look like humans. We'll chuck him in hell. So that's his way of thinking, right? So now he's angry at humans. He's angry at Sparta. He's angry at the demons. He's angry with everyone, right? Because he's like, my family over here was killed. Because when I was growing up, the human family that I lived with wasn't. They were shitty people. They weren't good people. They wasn't good people, right? So now I'm like, well, I don't feel as much of a, you know, I guess, connection to him. I want to pull out another example. If anyone has watched or even read Dandadan, right? A story stuck out with me in that manga. I read the manga, which is also going to be released as an anime in the second season of Dandadan. Evil Eye arc, very very good arc for me. It's funny how I did not even get to see I didn't even get to get a fleshed out story of the child, right? The child who is the evil eye. The child's the evil eye, pretty much, right? If you don't know what Dandadan is, or if you haven't watched it, or you know, if you haven't read the manga, right? Spoiler alert. But if you still want to read, you know, you still want to hear my own thoughts about it, you can stay. But if you don't want to yet, you could read it, watch the anime as well. Then go back to this video if you want to. But if you don't really mind that much, I'll tell you pretty much how it goes down. So there's this child, right, in the evil eye arc. This child is trapped, right, in this shack, right, and he's malnourished, underfed. We don't really know what his origins are. We don't know if he was being maltreated. We don't know if he was being held captive. I myself don't really know. So, but what we know is he wasn't being taken care of. But every single time, there's this small window in his shack, right? With a bunch, there was just like bars holding it together, right? There's this small gap in his shack that he could just see beyond children playing freely in the grass, right? And you could just see the eyes in that kid. You could see the face of that kid, and it was a face of happiness. It was a face of he wants to play as well. He wants to go out as well. He wants to play, right? But that story didn't ended up. It didn't end up being happy. The child dies in that shack with no one saving him, and he was trapped there, right? And I don't know how long it took, but few years later, a kid finds him, right? Not a few years. I mean, like it was probably hundreds of years, because clearly it looked like feudal era Japan, Sengoku Jidai kind of era. So it was like hundreds of years now that has passed, and a kid finds him. Of course, in spirit form now. And the kid that finds him can't help but feel sad for the child, because all he wanted was to play. All he wanted was to play. And now he wants to wipe out, kill everything, right? And the kid that found him, the kid that found the evil eye, was like, people just don't understand him, right? He was maltreated. He was trapped. He was kept in this secluded place, right, as a child, and passed away as a child, right? But he only wants to play. He only wants to play. I don't know why. I go look at that story, and I feel like I feel way more for that kid than, for example, because at the end of the day, you go look at it, and it's still a sympathy fest kind of thing, right? It's still a sympathy fest. I feel like I'm just rambling now, but if you're still watching, even if it's just one person, I'm, kind of happy that at least you could hear me not rant, but ramble about my thoughts over here. But I didn't feel sympathy with the kid, because I look at that kid, and he died with a smile, but he was still angry about the world. And it was almost like just those few pages, those few panels, I have connected with him more than with the rabbit, the way that I would like it to be connected, Because if I was like, yes, I do, quote unquote, have some kind of connection with the rabbit. Like, I feel for him, and I feel for his struggles. I feel for all the people he lost. But I look at it as in a way of sympathy, I don't know what makes it any different. What makes it any different? Eren wanted to kill all of the people outside of the walls. The rabbit is angry with everyone outside of the Makai. And the evil eye was angry outside of the world because he was treated in a fucked up way. He was treated badly. But why is it? I don't know why. I know I keep on saying, well, it is because of sympathy, right? But what makes their stories different? What makes it so fucking different? What makes every single one of their stories different? I'm trying to piece this shit together, bro. I don't understand why their stories are so all similar. I don't know why, man. I genuinely don't know why. They're the same. They're literally the fucking same. It's always me against the world. But why are they so different? Maybe it's because like how they were executed. Maybe it's because I don't know. Even if you did say, well, maybe it's because of how they were placed. With Attack on Titan, we experience that hell with Eren. With maybe the Evil Eye, we actually immediately get to see the Evil Eye before he announced his desire to kill everyone. But with the rabbit, it took us long enough. Yeah, what if it was different? What if they put it as in the first episode? I know that feels weird. What if they put that story in the first episode? I'm not saying that they should have, by the way. I'm just imagining if it was like I would have had different feelings. I feel like I would have. I feel like I would have. But wouldn't that just make me more angry at the humans? Yeah, but then I'd have a different feeling towards Darkcom. It wouldn't be the same. I'm confused. I'm looking at Dante as if he's some kind of moral compass. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do? He doesn't seem like the type of guy to do that. I'm so lost with myself. I kind of look at this now in a way where I'm like, I'm not even at conflict. I just want to like tell you this. How many minutes have I been recording? 41 minutes. Holy shit. This ended up being much more fucking longer than the previous video. Yeah, I go look at this episode and I'm having difficulties, man. Bro, I tend to be super freaking invested when it comes to like stories, shows, anime, movies, manga, books. I've always been that type of person that I really just invest myself so much. I just end up really getting into, bro. To the point where it's like I don't even I'm so blindsided by it, by the way. Whatever themes that they make in the story, I'm so blindsided. No matter, like, it doesn't even matter if like there was some kind of plot hole or there was some kind of like mistake when it comes to the writing, or maybe something wasn't well written, or maybe the pace was off. It was almost like I go look at it now at this stage, and I feel like I'm looking at it more in the eyes of their world instead of like in the eyes of if I were to make the show, if I were to do the show, so man. I don't know if anyone's still watching. I don't think anyone's still watching, but I know I'm at episode 6, but I want to watch the next one, I'm not going to lie. It's 12:25 a.m., bro, from where I'm recording. I really want to continue. I'm already in too deep. But I need to sleep early. Do I? Fuck, man. Fuck. Fuck, bro. Oh, man. Have a blessed day, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'll see you all on the next episode. Sayonara.